Thank you very much indeed. My name is Jeremy Wilson. I work for Barclays Bank in the UK, but I'm also chairman of something called the Whitechapel Think Tank. The Whitechapel Think Tank was set up about 18 months ago to bring, and it was set up in the UK to bring regulators, the government, and the private sector together, specifically as it happens on blockchain. I have to say I'm honoured to be here, and I thank you very much for including me. More really than I envisaged, because today to me has been something of a shining light in the story of regulation in the United States in finance. I think everybody would be aware of the fact that around the world there is a sense of regulator congestion in America. So when it comes to fintech, it's very difficult to get things to move forward. So I will talk around the world about what I have heard today. And I have a couple of questions I wanted to ask. This may not necessarily be the right panel, but it certainly seems to be the right agency. Because in my uneducated, uninformed mind about US regulation, this agency now stands taller than all the others in this particular area. I had two questions really. One is that there is a growing need for global coordination amongst regulators, and I think the US has a significant part to play in that. And the second, which I think I will not cover actually, because others will probably be wanting to ask questions, but clearly we need to think even deeper about financial regulation now, because these new business models that are emerging are changing everything but the core basics of what banking is about. And I have a sense that the regulators and many others are looking at this from an old, outdated methodology, and we're going to have to review things more fundamentally. But can I just go to the global coordination of regulators, and just a quick preamble, if I may. Wherever I go, I find that when you talk about the US regulatory congestion, if I can call it that, there are two reactions. The first is one of satisfaction, because if it's in Singapore or London or Brussels or Shanghai or Hong Kong, it represents to them a competitive advantage over the United States. But I think there is a much more significant issue. And the significant issue is this, that fintech is no respecter of global, of political or economic boundaries. It simply transcends those boundaries now. As we've seen today on many of the companies on the panels here, they're global. They speak to people all over the world. And so we are not going to make progress on this unless the regulators themselves start working together globally as well. So I think I really had a question for you, which was, I think it's the same question, but a couple of sections. Should the regulators work together globally, do you believe? Who should the world regulators come to in the US? And would the US be interested in leading some sort of an initiative?